Kids go as Wendy's fans for just 99 cents. Right now, when you get a Wendy's Kids meal, you...
Every Tuesday now, we have something called Timberwolves Ticket Tuesday. Are we ever going to have a Wild Ticket Wednesday?
We have Wild Wednesday every once in a while.
We do have Wild Wednesday, come to think of it, don't we?
We have Wild Wednesday every week. I don't know if we have tickets every week.
Russo's going to join us at 4:55, so that'll be the next segment. I don't know when we're going to get to Top 5 at 5. I promised you I was going to get to the monumental performance by the Timberwolves, and I created, I guess, a Twitter firestorm that I didn't think was that big a deal, but it was very polarizing again.
It's
Some
funny you
people
mentioned that.
agreeing with me, other people absolutely incensed that I would dare to go down the road I went down.
It's funny you mentioned that because that may come up in the inbox.
Oh, good.
Today.
Okay, perfect. That's better. Then at least we'll have touched upon it. Let's start.
It's time for Dr. Dan's
Yada.
Inbox.
Got it. Got it.
Brought to you by Wedding Day Diamonds. Thank you, Wedding Day Diamonds. Dr. Dan's inbox is at 4:30 every single Thursday, unless Dan gets into something controversial in the segment before. Then it's 4:40, and funny, it's 4:41.
Well, in this case, it wasn't arguing with listeners. It was just completing the point. You're right.
Dear Dr. Dan.
Yeah.
Wait, what? This isn't supposed to happen to me. This is supposed to happen to the neighbors to the west. It's that no-talent, non-vaxxed, plexiglass-surrounded QBK Cousins who is supposed to be affected by COVID. How am I supposed to win with 3 wide receivers on the sidelines? Glad I have my old trusty wide receiver, Jay Nett. At least I have my good friend linebacker, C. Met. Well, at least I have my highly experienced second debt. Well, my defense will have to play their A game tonight. Why, oh why, Dr. Dan, is this happening to me? Sincerely, A. Rogers.
Well, it's interesting because we chatted with S. Salisbury about the Rogers Challenge tonight. Thursday Night Football. I'm assuming you can hear it on the fan.
You cannot because of Wild Hockey against the Kraken.
Oh, good point. The Kraken. You're right about that.
The Plus, I'm guessing.
So I'm hoping it'll be on the Plus. It's a good matchup. And S. Salisbury said what needed to be said. I think he's tweeted it out, too, because he got something back from a listener who was paying attention to our segment together. I have no doubt that, as Sean said, as S. Salisbury said, we're going to learn about 2 wide receivers we never even heard of before.
Yes.
Because he'll make them stars. Or he'll make them at least serviceable. Or he'll go, what's the name of that tight end? Is it Tunyon or Tanyan? Whatever his name is, it starts with a T.
Robert Tanyan.
And he may, by the end of the game, we may think of him as a modern day John Mackey. That's a bit of a dated tight end reference, but okay, I could go with Mike Ditka, but that'd be just as dated, but a more familiar name. So I rule nothing out when it comes to A. Rogers, his own ability to rise above it. So the last thing I would expect from an A. Rogers is to go poor, poor, pitiful me. Because he's A. Rogers.
He loves this.
He probably, this could end up being his night.
Yes,
right?
I think it will be.
He could turn it into his night tonight.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, I'm writing as I'm concerned for your well-being. Last night you suggested that a fine young basketball player, A. Edwards, could end up being the greatest player in Timberwolves history. Now, we all know that list is short.
Very.
But it really only needs to be one player long.
Correct.
To suggest it could be anyone else has me concerned about you. I understand we can all consume one too many wine coolers and end up saying something ridiculous on Twitter. I just want to make sure I don't have anything to be concerned about regarding any kind of substance abuse, legal or otherwise. So this is just me checking in on soda. Sometimes even doctors need help. Kay Garnett.
Somehow I don't think a real letter from Kay Garnett would be quite that friendly. I think there might be.
Wouldn't be readable.
It would be a series of Effenheimers is what it would probably be.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because I had Wolves people bitter with my Jimmy Buckets
leadership thing.
Ant Edwards leadership analogy on the one hand, and then I had many of them bitter because I dared to suggest that the new kid, Ant, might someday, and I chose my words carefully. I did not say he is guaranteed to be it. I didn't even say he would be it. I didn't even make it out as a prediction. I said he has a chance to be it. And Dr. Dan stands by that belief, that assertion. Here's what we're doing that's screwed up. And this always happens, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody. Your average rube out there is comparing the totality of Kay Garnett's career to A. Edwards 1 year and 1 month in. And that's what makes it seem preposterous at this point. Let's not forget what he is doing offensively before his 21st birthday. You know, Johnny Athletic wrote a great ode to K Towns as, you know, being really still the engine that drives all of this, that he played a game under control yesterday. He didn't let the refs get to him because we all know there's no player in the league who has more justified complaints when it comes to the refs. This is the refs, I don't even know why, but they get together every year in the summer. Somebody told me it might have been in Colorado, like in the mountains, in the Rockies.
They have a summit.
They have like some kind of a summit that says, who are we going to get? And for the second straight year, they're saying, let's get Cat. We're just going to make life tough for him. I don't know why. It's just our bad luck, I guess. And I don't disagree with what Jay Athletic said, but some of the stuff he's doing, getting to the basket, that last drive is as good as it gets. Now, it's not in the postseason.
Right.
I get all of that. There's not as much at stake.
It was nice.
But given that game against, you know, legitimate defense, using his body the way he does to get to where he needs to go, and not yet 21 years old, I'm just saying.
He had that and 1-2 where he got fouled, went underneath, up and under.
Now, you could say, well, it's a volume shooter yesterday. It took him 24 shots. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not. I'm not saying he's a perfect player. I don't know how to break it to anybody. Kay Garnett was not a perfect player a year and change into his career. He was not close. He was a very flawed player, quite frankly. And it's a big, big mountain. It's the only mountain, right? Literally, there is no other mountain.
Correct.
When it comes to Wolves, that's what's sad about it. But Dr. Dan stands by his assertion. Will he be as influential? Well, I don't know that he's ever can be. He's not, 7 feet tall. I mean, he can't guard 5 positions, but he already offensively is doing far more than Kay Garnett ever did offensively. Now, they're two different kinds of players, right? One's really more of an inside player and the other is a wing. But I may rue the day. If I make PST, I'm fine with that. And right now, it may seem like PST, but you're comparing the totality of one guy's career to another guy who's basically, he's a baby. He's just got here.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
All right, we got to get moving.
We get your letters.
Dear Dr. Dan, I was watching a replay of the 1991 World Series Game 7 last night. What a great game. But what was T. Kelly thinking letting Jay Morris throw 126 pitches? Was TK trying to ruin his career? I would have pulled Morris after he gave up 2 hits to start the 8th to preserve his arm for 1992 and the rest of his career. I think Kelly and Morris dodged a big bullet there. Signed, R. Baldelli.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That one, by the way, it came in at like 9:30 this morning.
This morning.
So just a motivated Dr.
That's
Dan
very motivated.
inbox submission, which I love.
It would be intriguing to hear R. Baldelli on that particular issue, but I'm not sure he'd cut open a vein on it. He just doesn't cut open a vein on a lot of stuff.
He would talk for a long time.
Yeah,
I just don't know what he would
But he still
say.
wouldn't cut open a vein.
No, probably not.
It's time for Dr. Dan's Inbox.
Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, as a rational human being, I was never one to jump on the fake news bandwagon. However, recent stories being widely circulated have forced me to rethink my position. I'm reading reports in such once trusted news outlets as The Athletic and Star Tribune that the Minnesota Timberwolves rank atop the NBA in defensive performance. A notion so ridiculous no sane person would believe it, let alone report it. My apologies to D. Trump. Fake news is real. Sincerely, T. Thibodeau.
Wow. Well, name 2 teams that both have 3-1 records at this early part of the season.
The Knicks and the Wolves.
And us.
I watched the Knicks only loss the other night to Orlando.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how they lost to Orlando, but they did.
D. Rose was trying to heat up again.
Oh.
What I love about it, though, is just D. Rose. I mean, it's
nuts, isn't it?
It's great. I mean, it's Tibbs.
Yeah, by the way, can we shelve all those stats early, in all honesty?
Yes. Small sample size.
I mean, in every other sport, we hear constantly about small sample size. So if what you do is it's a small sample size, but just stop. Forget the but, because what you're trying to do is still wedge in a stat that has so little meaning because it's so soon, and you're pretending that, well, I'm acknowledging it's a small sample size. The sentence should end there. If it's a small sample size, don't go there. Let the season play out. A victory against the Milwaukee Bucks, though, not a bad idea. Even though I think they were down 2 starters.
Yeah.
And we almost blew it.
Almost. Dear Dr. Dan,
You know why we didn't?
Ant.
End of the game. Without that drive, they lose the game.
I had an intelligent discussion with D. Barreiro yesterday regarding the proliferation of sneakers and tennis shoes worn by male media personalities in the modern day. What started out as an innocent discussion regarding G. DiNardo's lack of socks on the BTN set has led to a series of events that nobody could have predicted. I disagree with this movement from dress shoes to sneakers. Why diminish yourselves by wearing comfortable shoes? You earn the spot to be on TV. Shouldn't you dress to impress? Is the choice to wear sneakers by D. Barreiro and Jay Gard on the E Said set the reason for them being stranded at the Upper Midwest Emmys altar? I compare this to my time coaching football at the U. If El Maroney and the O-line could have picked up that short yardage on that 3rd down conversion against Wisconsin in that fateful game in 2005, perhaps I could have enjoyed a longer coaching tenure and that the local fan base could have avoided the T. Brewster experiment altogether. Perhaps investing a bit more money on your wardrobe, in this case, the 3rd down conversion, at H. White or N. Ordstrom, might make the difference in winning this prestigious award. L. Fisher would surely be grateful. Always in your face, G. Mason. Should we dress better for the Emmys?
Maybe we wouldn't be preempted because my sources say we're not even on Fox 9 tomorrow night because of baseball, and they're not even bothering to put us on at 11 o'clock or 11:30 after the game. So maybe it's the shoes. Maybe they're trying to tell us something even at Fox 9. We'll have to run it by Elle Fisher.
She'll be ready for us tomorrow.
She's primed for some battles tomorrow.
Last 2, you don't have to comment.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's your show.
Yeah.
It's your inbox.
We get your letters every day.
Dear Dr. Dan, a buddy of mine was listening to Beat a Bumper yesterday, told me I was discussed quite heavily early in the show, and I noticed that D. Barreiro even tweeted about me. I feel like my reputation was somewhat sullied by the portrayal of me. According to the show, specifically producer Jay Gard, I am some sort of a den of iniquity. Wow, never said that word before. A 3-hour tour of smut and debauchery not seen since Alan Alma's cruise during the Vikings bye week in 2005. That is a completely inaccurate misrepresentation. I'll have you know I've entertained people from all walks of life, and I'm a pillar of the community and employ many people with well-paying jobs. And our dancers aren't derelicts and perverts. In fact, several of them are working their way through college. If anybody knows that's a long road, you'd think Jay Gard would. That being said, like Facebook, I think I might rebrand myself with a different name as some get the wrong idea. Some hear the word cruise, think we're lazy. I was thinking something like Booty Voyage, but we'll work on it. Please stop ruining my reputation. Dan, sincerely, B. Cruz.
Well, I'll just say to B. Cruz, I don't know that we're trying to damage his or its reputation. In fact, we're trying to bring the B. Cruz back. We're trying to see if there is a responsible way to get that done in 2021, and lots of plans. Let's just say there's a lot of people putting their very smart brains together to try to see if there is a way out of this box.
Dear Dr. Dan, to make the most of the inbox, please have Jay Gard automatically go to break at 4:26, no matter what rant you're on. G. Swedberg.
You're right. I don't need to say anything to that one. Russo Radio's next.